bringing on our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Derrick DeSilva. Many of you already know Dr. D. My goodness, he's like family to all of us. But anyway, Dr. D, we are so grateful for you and thankful for all the effort that you've put into this company and to the products. But a little bit about Dr. DeSilva, if any of you have not had the pleasure of meeting him or hearing him live, you know, he is a practicing internist. My goodness, I think going up on over 38 years now, Dr. D, correct me. I'm losing track of the years now, but I think it's 38 years as a practicing internist. He's also served on the teaching faculty of the JFK Medical Center. My goodness, he's actually been awarded the Alan Mintz Award. You guys, this is a very prestigious award, basically for excellence in clinical age management medicine. I know, Dr. D, I know your passion is anti-aging. I know you travel all over the country and around the world to actually speak at engagements on this particular topic. So you guys, I couldn't have thought of any better person to come on here and explain this new product called NUVii. So without further ado, Dr. D, we're going to turn the mic over to you.
Thank you so much, Jenny and Tony. It's a pleasure to be here. And yes, to our PureV family, great to see you all again. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much for joining us. So I have a question for you. My question is, how many of you, as the video said, would like to awaken your cells? How many of you have seen an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old running around? And the difference between an 8-year-old and an 80-year-old. What is the difference between that 8-year-old and 80-year-old? Folks, it comes down to cellular energy. The cells in our body. Have you ever heard somebody say, God, you know what? I wish we could bottle that energy and sell it. Well, we're at that point today. There are between 7 and 9 points or ways of aging. Cellular energy is one of those very important pieces when it comes to aging. And again, a lot of us, you know, and if you think of it this way, as when we are born, our gas tank is full. When we hit 40, 50 years old, our gas tank is at a little over a half a tank. So you've used that energy, you've used that fuel over the first 50 years. And as you get older, the gas tank starts to go towards empty. And when the gas runs out, unfortunately, that's when we run out. So what if you could go to the gas station and you can pull up and we can refill your tank? That is exactly what we are going to be introducing to you. We're going to be introducing to you a product to refill the gas tank. Next slide, please, Jenny. So and by the way, your picture is right in the middle of the, if you could just move that out of the way, that would be great. So let's talk about some of these ingredients, folks. Spermidine is one of the first ingredients that we're going to discuss. Now, what is spermidine? And I'm not going to get into all of the where it's from, et cetera, because what is important here is that spermidine has to do with cellular cleaning. Folks, we have cleaning mechanisms within our body. We have lymphatic cleaning. We've got kidneys that clean. We've got a liver that cleans. We also have a system that I recently talked about in Dubai at a conference called the glymphatic system. It is the cleaning system for the nervous system. So every single system within the body has cleaning, because if you don't clean your house, If you don't clean your car, if you don't change your oil, the system breaks down. And that is exactly what spermidine does. It helps to clean and cleanse the system through something called autophagy or cellular cleaning. Because as we get older, the cleaning and cleansing system of the body deteriorates. So let's help the body clean. Let's give your body the tools it needs to clean. But it also has other effects on healthy aging, on your hair and skin, on your cardiovascular system, on your cognition, on your brain, your memory, your focus, your concentration. All of these come together. And what happens here is that spermidine has that ability. It has that ability to clean and cleanse your system. Because remember, once again, as we get older, that cleansing and cleaning system deteriorate. So it activates the cleansing or cleaning system. All right. That's the first ingredient. Next, please, Jenny. And by the way, your picture, unfortunately, is still in the way. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's in the way of the text. Okay. I don't know if you can move that or get that out of the way there. Um,
Yeah, we don't see a picture on our end here, Dr. D, so I'm not sure.
yeah, it's on our end. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I'll work around it. NAD. NAD, folks, right now is one of the hottest supplements that you are going to be hearing about and seeing. Nicotinamide, it is a derivative of vitamin B3. But here is the key when it comes to NAD. There you go. Now it's gone. Perfect. NAD, by the way, as it says right here, its function is that it is a coenzyme that is essential for cellular health. And NAD plays a key role in energy metabolism by transferring electrons. It's also involved in DNA repair. By the way, the doctor that founded the DNA molecule passed away yesterday. And he won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for describing the double helix, which you can see on your screen on the left-hand side there. So this area of aging and metabolism is so huge. And what did I start out with by saying? What I started off by saying is this. What is the difference between an 8-year-old and an 80-year-old? Folks, it comes down to cellular energy. You think it's energy. Yes, it's energy, but it comes down, if you take it all the way down, it comes down to the cellular level. Because if the cells run out of energy, if the gasoline in the tank is going down really fast because of your diet, your lifestyle, what you're doing, the environment, pesticides, toxins, all of these things have to do with aging. And what we are proposing here is that you can now stop at the gas station and get your gas tank filled up again. And that's exactly what NAD does. But in order to fill the gas tank, what else do you need to do? What else you need to do is to clean the system. You're not going to change your oil without changing the filter. You will at some point change the gas filter in your car. You'll change the air filter. You'll change the air conditioning and the heating filter in your home. And that's exactly what spermidine does. Spermidine, just going back one, spermidine is the autophagy or the cleaning system. All right. And if you clean, what happens is that things get better. It's the spark plug. NAD is the spark plug for your cells. It's a coenzyme that will rejuvenate, restart, revitalize your cells. And it helps turn the food that you eat into energy and It helps repair DNA. How does it help repair DNA? By providing the energy that the DNA needs, that your body needs to make the repair happen. So, what happens when you add more fuel? What happens when the house is clean? Don't you feel better? Don't you immediately feel better? It's really funny. I've heard people say, you know how to make your car run better? Well, one of the best things you can do is to wash it and to keep it clean. It, for some reason, runs better when it's clean. And this is all what happens internally. It helps boost mitochondrial function. What are mitochondria? Mitochondria are your energy. Excuse me, is your engine. And what do we put in that engine? Gasoline. It protects. And if you do all of that, your clarity, your focus, your mental performance, all of that improves. And folks, it will slow down the aging process. But I have to tell you this. This is something that you need to do. This supplement is something you need to do. And I'm not making a sales pitch here, okay? I'm telling you the science. This product is something that you need to do every day. You need to do this every day because your cells are burning energy so fast. And as we age, that burning happens even quicker. Have you ever seen anybody that, and I know that there's a couple of nurses on here. By the way, a very special hello to somebody, a young lady by the name of Diane. I won't say your last name, Diane, who I literally have known for 50 years. And she's a nurse from many, many moons back that I know. But anyway, the nurses in here know, and some of you know. Have you ever seen somebody who has very serious lung disease or very serious kidney disease or very serious heart disease? What do they look like? They're very thin, they're aged, and they look like they're aged. Why? The reason that these folks with kidney disease, lung disease, heart disease, uh, and that nasty thing that happens to our bodies starts with the letter C. What happens in these folks is that there's a tremendous energy demand that happens within the body. So they lose weight, they look wasted, and they look like they need a boost. This is where NAD comes in because as we age, that aging process accelerates even more. Next, please, Jenny. And by the way, go back, please, I'm sorry. One of the things also is cellular repair. If you look at the top of the screen there, is repair. Because you want to regenerate, you want to energize, but you also want to repair. And that is what the role of NAD is. So why did we also put Boswellia in here? Boswellia is frankincense. I've been using Boswellia in various formulations for 35 years, 38 years, for as long as I've been doing this. Why? Because Boswellia is an anti-inflammatory. That is also one of the mechanisms of aging. There's various mechanisms, as I said. Anti-inflammatory or inflammation is called inflaaging. The inflammation accelerates aging. And you've heard me talk about this, right? A nail sitting outside is going to rust. It's going to age. If you bring the nail into the garage, it's going to slow down the aging process. And if you put it into the house, because of the environment's controlled, the aging slows down even more. So what we're doing here is we're saying to your body, we're going to take you from being outside in the sun, in the rain, in the cold, in the snow. Sorry, I have to say that nasty four-letter word called snow. But we're going to bring you into the house with the use of Boswellia. So now we're cleaning your system with the spermidine. We're giving you more energy. We're giving the cells more energy to rejuvenate. we're reducing inflammation. We have to reduce inflammation because if we don't reduce inflammation, the aging process is going to accelerate. And what happens here is if you look down in the text where it says inflammatory conditions, there's something called LOX5. Folks, I can't even tell you how important LOX5 is. LOX5 is the enzyme or lipooxygenase or 5-LOX or LOX5 is the main mechanism of how we can slow down that inflammatory process. And that's the mechanism of how Boswellia works. The bottom line is that we need to reduce inflammation. And reducing inflammation, if you have inflammation in your pinky, you have inflammation in the rest of your body. If you have inflammation in your anywhere in your body, your knee, your ankle, your hips, you've got inflammation in the rest of your body, which is manifested by pain. So what do we do? What we have to do is put out the fire. And that's exactly where Boswellia comes in. By the way, it's also known as frankincense. You know, for those of you that have been in a church, that have been in a mass where there's frankincense or there's incense burning, that's exactly what Boswellia is. And again, the main way that it works is by reducing the inflammation. It's very gentle on the stomach. You know, if the side effects of the drugs that we use to calm down inflammation is off the charts. It's a phenomenal botanical. It's wonderful to help support the health of the joints, the stiffness of the joints, and the boswellic acids are what is part of this. And joint comfort, once again, healthy aging and overall vitality. Because if you have less pain, you're going to move and be more active. That's the bottom line. So now what we're doing is we're getting rid of some of the inflammation so that you can move. We're giving you the energy in order to move, and we're cleaning your system. Next, please, Jenny. And last but not least is celery seed. Celery seed has a different mechanism of action than Boswellia, but the primary effect, once again, is as an antioxidant and as an anti-inflammatory. And in traditional medicine, going back millennia, it has been used as an anti-inflammatory for people that have gout, for people that have other arthritides. It's also phenomenal for the cardiovascular system. Why? Because if you can reduce inflammation in the blood vessels and in the heart and in the body in general, you're going to have better health. So, and again, the joint health that comes in, and there's plenty of data. A study in 2015 showed that celery seed extract reduced inflammation in rats and performed as well as some of the over-the-counter pain medications in treating arthritis. So wouldn't you rather use something that's natural, that's not going to affect your heart, it's not going to affect your kidneys, and not going to affect your liver? Of course, of course. Next, please. The next thing I want to get into here that is extremely, and by the way, this has an effect as an antioxidant on glucose, lipids, calming inflammation, et cetera, everything that I mentioned here. Okay, next, please, Jenny. The next thing that I want to discuss with you, and this is, folks, the critical piece of this presentation, and here it is. I was on a call this week with one of the world authorities on aging. And unfortunately, I cannot mention his name and I cannot mention the context. But take my word, I was on a call and I'm one of 12 people on this board, an international board of physicians, scientists, PhDs that have to do with aging. The biggest thing that came up, and we were talking, by the way, about NAD. One of the issues that came up was that NAD, a lot of people are using NAD IV. Some people are using it IM, intramuscularly by injection. The biggest issue with NAD and a lot of these compounds, specifically NAD, is that it is not absorbed. It is very, very poorly absorbed. And taking a shot or doing an injection or doing an IV once a month, once every other month, once a quarter is a waste. If you want to do that, it needs to be done regularly. But here's the thing. What we also discussed was the fact that if we can show delivery by using nanotechnology, and this is something I brought up as part of our discussion, and I said to the group, and I said to one of these international researchers, and if I said his name, believe me, you would know who it is. I said to him, what about if you're going to do this IV once a month? Okay, great. Even once a week. Okay, great. What happens in between? What happens on a daily basis? And I said to the group, what if we can deliver? Yes. And Yvonne, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And thank you for bringing that up. It is very expensive. The IV use of NAD is extremely expensive, and it's almost not affordable on a regular basis. I said to the group, what about if we could deliver this compound in a nanoparticle, 10 to the minus ninth? And this particular gentleman said to me, Derrick, that's a phenomenal idea because we have liposomes. He said, in fact, his lab uses liposomes to do some of the research. I said, but here's the deal. Liposomes are 10 to the minus sixth, 10 to the minus fifth, 10 to the minus sixth. It's a great delivery system. It's a small particle, but you're not going to get this particle into your serum unless it's a nanoparticle at 10 to the minus ninth. He said to me, you're absolutely correct. And on a daily basis, if we can give you this compound in a nanoparticle, it is going to become highly bioavailable. So this is what Jenny, Tony, and myself have always said. It's not what you take, it's what you absorb. I'll say that again. It's not what you take, it's what you absorb. You can take all this great stuff, but if it doesn't get absorbed, it's no good. And by the way, NAD is an intracellular compound. You need to get this compound into the bloodstream on a regular basis in order for it to get into the cell and do what it needs to do and move into the nucleus and into the cell by the mitochondria and allow it to work. I know that was a lot right there, but the bottom line is that if you don't get it into the cell, this is not going to work. And we've found a way to get this into the cell and into the body that will allow you to absorb it and let your body utilize it. So now what's going to happen? What's going to happen is we are getting rid of the inflammation with Boswellia and celery seed. We're cleaning your system, right? We've had the cleaning people come in. They're cleaning your house. The inside of your car has been cleaned. It's being detailed. It looks great. But your gas tank is empty, or you're at a quarter tank. You're not going to get very far. We're going to fill your gas tank too. So we're going to put that energy back in, and the needle is going to go back to full. That's what we're going to do, and we're giving you the technology to make this all happen. I love you guys. Thank you so
Ah,
much. And
We
thank you
love
for
you.
your